Imagine a crime so unbelievable, so shocking, that it's hard to believe it actually happened. Today, we're diving into the baffling story of a small-town mystery that left everyone stunned. This is the kind of case that shakes communities to their core. Our story begins in a quiet town, a place where everyone knows everyone, and crime is almost non-existent. It's the kind of town where doors are left unlocked, and neighbors are like family. But that sense of safety was shattered one fateful evening in the spring of 2003. Sarah Jenkins, a 27-year-old schoolteacher, was the heart of her community. She was known for her kindness, her passion for teaching, and her dream of opening a community center for underprivileged kids. But Sarah's life was tragically cut short in a way no one could have predicted. One evening, Sarah didn't show up for her weekly book club meeting. Her friends thought it was unusual, but figured she might have been running late. However, when calls and texts went unanswered, concern began to grow. The next morning, Sarah's car was found abandoned in a remote area just outside of town. Inside the car, police discovered disturbing evidence: a single shoe, strands of her hair, and what appeared to be bloodstains on the passenger seat. The small-town police were immediately overwhelmed by the case, and state investigators were called in. Detectives discovered that Sarah had recently been receiving threatening messages. These messages came from an unknown number and hinted at a stalker who had been watching her for weeks. Neighbors reported seeing a suspicious man lingering near Sarah's house in the days leading up to her disappearance, but no one could provide a clear description of his face. Surveillance footage from nearby stores showed a man in a hooded sweatshirt following Sarah's car just hours before she went missing. After weeks of searching, investigators found Sarah's body in a shallow grave near a hiking trail. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community. Sarah had been strangled, and the evidence suggested she had fought back fiercely. Near the burial site, police found a crucial piece of evidence: a bracelet engraved with initials. It belonged to Sarah's ex-boyfriend, Mark Reynolds, a man with no prior criminal record, but a rocky history with Sarah. Mark was immediately brought in for questioning. He admitted to seeing Sarah a week before her disappearance, but denied any involvement in her murder. Mark claimed the bracelet had been lost months ago. Despite his denial, his alibi was shaky, and his fingerprints were found on Sarah's car door. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered troubling details about Mark's past. Friends described him as controlling and possessive during his relationship with Sarah. One friend even recalled Mark once saying, "If I can't have her, no one will." Just as the case seemed open and shut, another suspect emerged, a drifter named Alan Cooper. Alan had been seen camping near the hiking trail where Sarah's body was found. He had a history of violent behavior and had been arrested for stalking women in the past. In a shocking twist, Alan's DNA was found on Sarah's clothing. This raised questions. Was Alan working alone, or was Mark involved too? The town was split, with some believing Mark was innocent and others convinced he was guilty. The trial became one of the most talked about events in the state's history. Prosecutors argued that Mark and Alan had worked together to harm Sarah, while the defense insisted Mark was being framed. The courtroom was packed every day, with media outlets covering every twist and turn. After weeks of testimony, the jury reached a verdict. Alan Cooper was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Mark Reynolds, however, was acquitted due to lack of conclusive evidence, leaving many to wonder if justice had truly been served. To this day, questions remain about Sarah Jenkins' murder. Some believe Mark got away with murder, while others think Alan acted alone. The case has inspired documentaries, books, and countless debates. But one thing is certain: Sarah's memory lives on in the hearts of those who loved her. This is a story of love, loss, and the search for justice. It reminds us that the truth isn't always as clear-cut as we'd like it to be. What do you think? Was justice served? Or is there more to this story than meets the eye? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more true crime stories. Your support helps us continue uncovering these gripping cases.